wa ni'mal mawla wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal mawla wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil wa ni'mal mawla wa ni'mal nasir. General Maulana Shah Karim Hussaini Hazri Imam, Ya Maula, be with us, Maula, be the light in our hearts, Maula, be the light on the tongue of Nachiz, Maula, Ya Maula Meherban, Ya Mushkil Kusha Meherban, Maula, please help us, Maula. Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Ali Mudad to all friends. We will continue our discussion on this beautiful Farman of Maulana Sultan Muhammad Shah. May our souls be sacrificed to this Imam. This Farman is of July 13th, 1899. Haq Maulana Dhani Salamat Datar Sarkar Aka Sultan Muhammad Shah Hazimam Farmavi Salvat Allahumma Swalli ala Muhammadin wa Ali Muhammad. તમારામાંથી 5 કે 10 જણા એવા જોઈએ કે જેણે દુનિયાની કોઈ ઝંઝટ ના હોય તેમજ કમાઈ ધંધોની ફિકર ના હોય અને તેઓ આપણા દીનની કવાયત કરે તો તેઓની વાસ સફાઈદાર થાય અને અને માણસોને અસર કરે. તેઓ જ્ઞાન પડે તેમજ તવારીખ પડે જેથી અસલ માણસો કેવી રીતે ચાલતા હતા તેઓને તેની ખબર પડે. તમે જાણો છો કે પીર સદરદીન ક્યાં ગામના હતા. તમે તેમની તવારીખ પઢો તો તમને ખબર પડે. તમે હિન્દુ હતા. પીર સદરદીને કુરાને શરીફની તફસીરમાંથી જ્ઞાનો રચીને તમને સંભળાવ્યા. So let's stop here. Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah, again, we had read that part, that he desires that some of us would have dedicated our life to learning this knowledge, to truly learn everything, all the books which are available of our history and of our tariqa, in the which are actually in Arabic, in Persian, and our Ginans are in Gujrati. So all those languages which we don't know, we need to know languages, and we should have studied, and history we have studied. So I just got reminded that in global lectures we had series of all our dies history being presented, Fatmi time dies, but there is still much more which we can study. But it was a good thing to listen about, to know about all those dies. The key point is that Imam does want us to know the history. Without history, we will not know how and what sacrifices have been made for us to be here today following our tariqa. Then Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah speaks about Pir Sadardi. Our Pir who came to subcontinent, how did they come, who they were, where did they come from, all that we need to know. In this paragraph, Imam is, explaining us that, teaching us that, Pir Sardaddin, where did he come from? Like which town did he belong to? Do we know that? તમે તેની તવારીખ પઢો તો તમને ખબર પડે. If you were to read the history, then you would know where did he come from. તમે હિન્દુ હતા. પીર સદરુદ્દીને કુરાને શરીફની તફાસીરમાંથી જ્ઞાનો રચીને તમને સંભળાવ્યા. So of course, subcontinent Jama'at was Hindu, and it was Quran which Pir Sadruddin had followed to teach the talimat of our tariqa, Islam religion. જેઓ અરબો આપણા દીનમાં છે તેઓ કુરાને શરીફ પરથી આપણું દીન કબૂલ કરે છે અને કુરાને શરીફ પરથી જ આપણા હકીકતી રસ્તા ઉપર બરાબર ચાલે છે. બલ્કિ તેઓ તમારાથી પણ વધારે ઈમાની અને એતકાદવાળા છે. Very, very important part here. Imam is teaching us that those who are from Middle Eastern countries, right? Arabic, or those who are in Tajikistan. Actually, let's talk about Pir Nasir Khusro's followers, right? Those who accepted Ismaili Tariqa from Pir Nasir Khusro's teachings. It was from Quran. Imam is informing us, teaching us that those who had accepted the deen, our deen from Quran, they had known about the Quran, and that is why they accepted our deen. And they learned about our Haqiqati deen, followed it completely in its totality, in its accuracy, I would say. No mixture of here and there. And why Imam is saying that? Because they had accepted this deen from Quran. There was no doubt in their heart. They knew exactly what they were learning, what they were taught, and they had complete Iman. They had complete faith. See, Imam says, પણ વધારે ઇમાની અને એતકાદ વાળા છે. They are there. Pir Nasir Khusro's traditions, Mominins are there. And Imam is saying, પણ વધારે. Meaning, Imam is comparing now. Imam is comparing the Jama'at of Pir Sadruddin and Pir Nasir Khusro. And Imam is saying that those Jama'ati Ismaili members who actually accepted our tariqah from Quran, their Iman, their etiqad, like their belief and their faith, their Iman is much stronger comparatively from Pir Sadruddin's follower. Their Iman is much stronger. And what is the reason? We were also given talimat by Pir, and they were also given talimat by Pir. What is the difference? The difference is that their talimat came from Quran. So question would be, Pir Sadruddin did not give us talim of Quran? He did. But the difference is, we did not know Quran, they knew the Quran. When they knew the Quran, from Quran, the proofs were shown to them, and when they believe in our tariqah, Imam is saying, excuse me, that they followed our Haqiqati tariqah in its totality, in its completion, with complete faith and belief. There was no doubt in their heart. There was no doubt in their heart. Why? Because they knew Quran. Because they accepted our tariqah based on Quran. Very, very profound, actually, talimat, and it is kind of sad, and I don't like it when we hear that there is comparison being made. But it's a fact that Imam is giving us. When we have to accept it, that Imam is saying comparatively their Iman and their etiqad is better because they knew Quran and they believe in our tariqah from Quran. Now tell me, how many of us do not want strong and firm Iman? This is the key, very key teachings of Pir Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah about, our peers, what did they do? And above this paragraph, Imam is saying that Pir Sadruddin also taught us from Quran. He was teaching us talim of Quran. Then why is there a difference that Pir Nasir Khusro's followers, their Iman is mazboot than us? Why Imam is saying that? પી સદદીન સાથે બીજા 12 જણા હતા. તેઓ પણ તમારા જેવા હતા. તેઓ સર્વે દીનની વાકેફગારી તેઓ સર્વે દીનથી વાકેફગાર બનાયા. ત્યારબાદ તેઓ સતપન દીન ફેલાવ્યો અને માણસોને દીનમાં લાવ્યા. With Pir Sadruddin, there were 12 people. Very interestingly, Imam is giving us number 12. There were 12 people who were with Pir Sadruddin, and for તેઓ પણ તમારા જેવા હતા. They were like, Jama'at, Imam is saying. And Imam is saying then, but they learned, they became waqifgar, they became learned learned by the Pir, our Pir Sadruddin. And after that, they actually worked with Pir Sadruddin in spreading our deen, giving the dawa to people in our deen. Meaning, why Imam would highlight 12 people here? Why? From whole Jama'at, Imam is teaching, Imam is saying that there are darjat in Jama'at. There were some even at that time who became very close to our Pir, and they learned the talimat from Quran, and they became capable of working under a Pir like a dai, and they were doing the work of dawa with Pir Sadruddin. Only 12. What happened to other? If Pir was giving us talimat of Quran, what happened to the whole Jamaat? Imam is teaching the whole Jamaat, but then informing them that they were not all like the Jamaat who does not know Quran. There were 12 such that they learned. The expectations, the characteristics Imam is telling us, these 12 people met those characteristics. So they became Dai at that time under Pir and were working for the Dawa of Ismaili Tariqa. હાલ તમે પણ એમ કરો કે માણસોના ઈમાન મુસ્તહકમ થાય. 1899. તમે પણ એમ કરો. You also do like that the Iman of the Jamaat becomes mustahkam, meaning firm. જે માણસ સાથે વાત કરવી હોય તેની ભાષા શીખવે તો જ મકસદ હાંસલ થાય છે. And then Imam is emphasizing about learning the language. Whoever we speak to, we need to know their language. Whoever we speak to, we need to know their language. And that is why today we try to do, different language sessions. Urdu sessions are going on, Gujrati sessions are going on, English sessions are going on, because language matters, because language can become a barrier. On the other hand, Hazrat Imam's Farman, if you were to pick up Hazrat Imam's Farman, Hazrat Imam has, we remember only English Farman, that Hazrat Imam has told us to learn English. Do you know that Imam has given us Farman about learning good Urdu? Have you ever seen that Farman? Imam has made Farman that I want you to learn Urdu because there are books of our tariqa in Urdu. Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah's Farman, we discussed in this forum about learning Arabic. So it's not that Imam is not telling us that we do not need to learn languages. In today's time, because of the way we live in different parts of the world, we are already knowledgeable about several languages. Now, when we move to West, because we, are selective listeners, some of us stayed um, um, only connected to English language because that was the need, and we lost the other languages which our parents or our grandparents knew. And now youngsters do realize that they need to know languages of their forefathers. And I see that there is a lot of effort in youngsters to learn new languages, and that's beautiful because we are capable of learning different languages, and this is our heritage, this is our background, this is our history. Why not? Why shouldn't we? And it makes us more worldly wise, more valuable in the sense when we know more languages in our physical worldly work as well. However, here we are talking about our Jamaat and teaching Jamaat. It is important to learn languages also. And it starts from young age with our youngsters, our babies, grandchildren, or our children being born. At that time, we're exposing them with different languages. When we are teaching Jamaat and when we know their languages and when we teach them in their language, it becomes easier for them to learn this knowledge. Otherwise, it becomes hard, it becomes very difficult, right? And that is one of the reasons that we are studying this Gujarati Farman, but discussing it in English, so we all understand what we are learning from Imam's Hidayat. So Imam's guidance is that, when you are discussing this knowledge, you got to discuss this in the in the language which people know that. And then Imam is giving example. એક ભગત હોય તે ફક્ત જ્ઞાનની માયના સંભળાવે તો શું ફાયદો થાય? If there was a bhagat, Imam says, and he keeps explaining the meaning of Gnan, what would be the benefit of that? What would be the benefit of that? જેઓ ઈમાની છે તેઓ જ્ઞાનની માયના કબૂલ કરે, પણ જેઓ બેઈમાની અને અધૂરા હોય તેમને એકલા જ્ઞાનની માયના ઉપર એતકાદ આવે નહીં. Very, very profound statement. I'm telling you, we have to really reflect. This is Imam talking to Jama'at, we have to remember. And Imam is giving example of a bhagat from the Jama'at who teaching Jama'at through Gnan, explaining Gnan. And Imam is saying that if a bhagat explains the meaning of Gnan, so what is the benefit? Why would Imam say that? Gnan is our tradition, our history. Why would we not learn from Gnan? But look at Imam's word. We really have to wake up. What Imam is saying, that those who are Imani, those who have firm Iman, they will believe in Gnan. But those who are Be-Iman, now normally the word Be-Iman, how do we use this word Be-Iman? We say, oh, kafirin. The way we pick up the word from Quran, those who do not believe, unbelievers or disbelievers, Be-Iman. But if we truly understand this Farman, Imam is talking to Jama'at here and teaching of Jama'at. Do we have darjat in Jama'at? Yes. Do we have in Jama'at different level of knowledge? Yes. Depending on the level of knowledge is the Iman. It is directly related. The Iman is directly related to the level of knowledge. So Imam is saying that yes, those who are believers, those who are Imani, they will understand Gnan and they will accept it. But those who have doubt in their hearts, those who are not with complete faith, they will not understand. They will not believe. It will not suffice that you only give them the meaning of Gnan. They will have no etiqad. They will not believe it. એ જ માણસોને શાસ્ત્ર તથા કુરાન શરીફ વગેરે દ્રષ્ટાંત આપો તો અલબત્ત તેઓને એતબાર આવે. Now remember, Jamaat lives in Hindustan. Jamaat has accepted tariqa from Hindu religion, very strongly influenced by Hindu religion. Even now we know that some of our Jamaati members are still need to wake up. And Imam is saying that if you were to teach them from Gnan, they will not believe. Shastra tatha Quran. Now Shastra, again, the book, right? The book of, Gita and Quran. If you were to give them evidences from books, they will believe you. Etabar aave. Here we have to be very, very careful. Imam is talking to those at that time who were in Hindustan. Now someone can become selective listener and say, I have to read Shastra as well. If you want to, why not? You should. Let's first finish the Quran. Let's first learn the Quran. And then you can go into Shastra. It is not that Imam has ever stopped us to learn and understand, Bible or Torah or Shastra, Gita. You want to study? Oh, everything we should study. But first have this benchmark. First know our tariqa completely. First know the Quran completely. If you know that and then you go out, then there is no harm which will come to you. If you start from not having strong faith because you don't know Quran and you start outside, it will be very difficult for you to have firm faith. That is what Imam's guidance is. If you really study all the Faramins, it's, totality, because we are just studying one Farman. Imam's Hidayat has been that first become expert in your own religion and then go out. there'll be less chances of you going astray. Because Shaitan is always after us. So remember that no matter how much we believe that no, we know it and we love Imam, but if we give opening to Shaitan, it will play the tricks on us. So the direction which are given to us is to learn the hidayat of our tariqah first and then go out and study. Nobody's stopping anybody. So Imam here again is emphasizing that those who don't only accept Ginan if you were to study Quran and give them talimat. Remember at that time, it sounds like that Dawat was also on, and there were people who were leaving our tariqah. If you remember, we have been talking about there were people leaving our tariqah and becoming Sunni. We were able to understand what Imam was saying. So there were those who were leaving tariqah, and then there was Jama'at who was being influenced by Isnashri community, and then of course living with Hindus. So all those elements are present around them at that time to with Jamaat. So Imam is saying that you need to study Quran, which is our book, so you can help them understand our tariqah, Haqiqati tariqah, so they would not leave the tariqah. Now today, fast forward 2024, do we live in that environment? 100%. We live in different environment outside our colonies, away from Jamaat Khanas, and our children are being exposed from very young age from Christianity or Judaism or different religion, right? We need to have this firm base at home to be able to teach them, to guide them, so they can learn about the talimat of our tariqah. So it is very much applicable today. So we have to really look at it from all the directions, aspects, to be able to get the hidayat of Imam and apply it in our lives. So Imam is saying here, અલબત્ત તેઓને એતબાર આવે આમાં કોઈ પણ શક નથી. If we were to give them the talimat from Quran, there'll be no doubt. These are Imam's word. આમાં કોઈ પણ શક નથી. They will believe more if you were to teach them from Quran. પણ એકલા જ્ઞાનની માયના તેમને અસર નહીં કરે. Today, if we were to ask Jama'at, these sessions are going on, and Nachis has also done some Ginan sessions, and Jama'at loves it. And they have requested that I should do more sessions, and I have kind of not been doing it. Why? Look at Imam's Farman and tell me why. And when we do Ginan sessions, yes, they are very, very inspiring. They are very familiar to us. And then we become kind of comfortable because we know Ginan. Oh, I know Ginan. We really have to push ourselves from out of comfort zone and approach the part of our tariqah which we don't know. If you today go to Jamaat Khana, if we go before dua 30 minutes before, you will listen to Ginans after Ginans after Ginans after Ginans, right? And then you may hardly hear one kasida here and there, and then there is English language. What I'm saying, that we constantly hear Ginan in Jamaat Khana. We don't hear Quran. Ginan we are very familiar with. If we were to know Quran and then we understand Ginan, believe me, Ginan will speak to us in a very different way. These Ginans which we have been listening as young children and not have understood all the Ginans, these Ginans will automatically speak to us. That is the power of learning the talimat of Quran. Alhamdulillah, tamarama ghana momen che. Again, please, let's us reflect what Imam is saying. Alhamdulillah, tamarama ghana momen che. Meaning there were those as well who were not Momin, but they are sitting in front of Jamaat. They are members of the Jamaat. પણ તેઓ અવિશ્વાસમાં આમ તેમ તડફિયા મારે છે. Imam is saying there are many who are Mu'min, but because of the doubts, they are very, very restless. Very restless. Imagine the words in Gujarati, you know, Tem tarfiya mare છે. You know, the proper understanding of this word, if you were to catch a fish, and when you bring the fish out of the water, the way fish, you know, uh, jumps and wants to go back to the water. And we call that as a fight for life and death, because for the fish, water is life. And she's, you know, tarfadiya mare che. That's how you would say it, like, you know, she's jumping and, you know, trying to just go back to the life which is water, but she can't. Imagine Jama'ati member, Imam is calling them Momin and saying that they are restless like that, as if life is away from them. They're seeking life, meaning they are like dead due to the doubts. Due to the doubts. આવા માણસોને કુરાને શરીફથી સાબિતી કરી દીધી હોય તો પછી તડફિયા ના મારે. For these people, if we were to give them the talimat of Quran, they would not be restless like that. Can you imagine the example of fish? If fish were to be in the water, she's alive. It is alive. It is water. You know, knowledge in our Tabiri understanding is actually given example as of water. Imagine if we don't have water to drink, how thirsty we would be. Our soul is just like that. It is fighting for life because it is experiencing death. Why do Peer says, Uth jaag man mera, tu kahe ko sota hai? You know, we think of, you know, man as, you know, our nafs amara, but look at this Ginan. When Peer says, you know, we were discussing it last time, that tera Shah Peer kadi na sowe, tujhe sona kyun bhave re? Uth jaag man mera. All these Ginans are actually telling us that why are you away from water? Being away from water for your soul is as if sleep or death. Why are you living like that? Tera Shah Peer kadi na sowe. And we had related this to Ayatul Kursi in Quran, which is the chief verse of Quran. If we were to know Quran, then we will understand what is Iman. If we will drink water, then only we will become alive. Otherwise, we are dead. This is what Imam is teaching. And you know, this is mercy of Imam, that Imam says that Ghana Momin che, meaning majority of them are Momin, meaning they have good heart. But due to this lack of knowledge, they are restless, as if death has come over them, just like fish. Jump to water. Treat yourself. Learn knowledge. What knowledge? Quran Sharif thi sabiti didi ho. તમે બદામના છિલટા ખાઓ છો, પરંતુ બદામના મગજની લિજ્જત તમે ચાખી નથી. તમે મગજ ખાઓ તો દીનની વધારે ખબર પડે અને તમે વધારે એતબાર અને ખુશી હાંસલ થાય. What Imam has not taught us. This very famous example we take in our classes, Farman classes everywhere, especially with Jama'at who know Farameens in our Gujrati sessions and sessions here, that we eat, the shell of almond. This almond, which is very common actually in subcontinent, it's a red color almond. If you have seen it, I've seen it in Mexico as well. And the shell is very sweet and it is red. It will color your mouth kind of pinkish reddish, very tasty. So you would eat the almond, but the real almond, which we know as almond here, in the shell, which is in a hard shell, people throw it away. They will just eat the top part, which is very sweet and tasty. And that inside shell is very, very hard to break. You need some hammer or something to break the inner almond out and eat that. Majority of the people will eat that soft fruit on top and tasty, enjoy it and suck on that seed and throw it away. And the Imam has picked that example to teach us. Why do we throw it away? If there is a food inside that, why do we throw it? Because you know why? We cannot break it with our teeth. The shell of that badam is very, very hard. You need to pick something up, break it, and get the almond out. It requires hard work. So guess what we do? We eat the soft, tasty part and throw away the essence. That's exactly what it means. The soft, tasty part for us today, the Jama'at of subcontinent, is ginans. We eat that and throw away the seed. The ginans which have originated from Quran, we throw it away. And then Imam is saying, how would you know the taste of that? If you have not tasted, how would you know? Meaning we don't know ginans. We really don't know ginans. Truly knowing ginan is completely different thing. It's completely different thing. And when we know Quran, listening to ginan is another level of joy and happiness. Completely different level. That lazzat, that taste, that ecstasy, it comes after knowing Quran. Otherwise, we superficially enjoy the Ginan, we do not understand the essence, the reality which is inside. તમે મગજ ખાઓ તો દીનની વધારે ખબર પડે. It's not that, listening to Ginan, you don't know the deen. You do. But do you need to know more? વધારે ખબર પડે. Imam's expectations is that you need to know more. અને તમને વધારે એતબાર આવે. More we will know and more we will believe. Again, why do we need to believe more in Imam? Do we not know Imam? Do we not know Ismaili Tariqa? Aren't we Ismaili? But in order to increase the level of etibar, level of Iman, because there are darjat in Iman, and the Iman, it comes from certainty, from knowledge. And it is first level is ilmul yaqeen. First we need to know the knowledge. And then comes ainul yaqeen, our eyes will open up. Which eyes? Not these eyes. The eyes of our heart, which sees the world which is beyond this physical perception, the world of spirituality. We will be able to see it if we were to know more. What do we need to know? Quran Sharif. Tell me how clear Imam has to be. Imam is saying that you all eat almonds shell, the top part, but you never work hard to get the essence of it. How would you believe in our Tariq? You need to know more, you need to learn more so you can believe more. Meaning, being smiley, yes, we are smiley. But then the smiley to smiley, the level of Iman is different. And Imam wants us all to be with firm Iman. તમે કાંગવો ભરો છો પણ પૂછો છો કે કાંગવાની માયના શું છે? પોતાના દિલથી વિચાર કરી જુઓ તો ખરી ખૂબીની તમને ખબર પડે. તમે પૂછો તો તમને અમે કહી સંભળાવ્યું. કાંગવો ભરવો, we don't do that anymore, but in that time, bayat was physically taken with an action because there were Jama'ati members who were accepting Ismaili Tariqa in adult life as well, right? Because of Dawat was on. So Kangwa Bharwa was a tradition, P. Sadaddin had started it, that you would have a plate full of cloves actually. And, cloves are filled in hand of a mukhi or imam or whoever is taking your bayat, and they will be given to the mu'min. And then they take it and then they let it go. Then second time and then the third time. It was an example, a symbol, an allegory, which was done to actually take this bayat from Jama'at, that tan man dhan given to Imam. Our physical being, our spiritual being, and actually our intellectual being. That's the meaning. Now, tan man dhan, tan means physical, man is our, nafs, our soul, and dhan, it is physical money as well. Because whenever we talk of our soul, remember that man, actually the word man is heart. If you translate the word man is heart, which is qalb. Qalb is actually a combination of our heart and our intellect. Because if you were to pick up the word qalb in Arabic in Quran, it will tell you that qalb is actually meaning both the heart, which actually is our soul, and our intellect. And then money, because we live in the material money. Money is very important because we are very, very much attached to money. So money was also part that, yes, we will sacrifice money as well. So physical, spiritual, intellectual level, when I say physically what we earn is also part of it. So everything I have, I give it to Imam. Imam accepts it. So it's a moment giving to Imam. Imam accepts it. And then, man and dhan. So in a way, it was a promise made physically with an action, a gesture, and, to say to Imam that, yes, I accept and all what is mine is yours. And Imam would say that I give it back to you. I return it to you. So you keep it as amana, as my amana, as my trust with you, and it trust has to be returned. So our lives are not our lives, our children is not our children, our money, our earning, it's not ours, it is all Imam's. It is temporarily given to us because we have physical body. As soon as the physical body is taken away, all it is of Imam. So temporarily we are given this opportunity to serve Imam with all what we have. And that's why, we have, manazrana of money we gave, and then we have time and knowledge. So what is remaining? What has left? Nothing. It is everything, we are symbolically taught to give it to Imam as nazrana. Because bayat is at the birth, and probably, when we grow up, people forget. Jamaat forgets. So this is another way of reminding Imam's mercy that everything you have belongs to me. So Imam here in this Farman is talking about Kangwa, which is a Baya ceremony, right? That Imam is saying that if you are doing this and you don't understand the meaning, if you were to ask me, first Imam says you need to think about it. તમે કાંગો ભરો છો પણ પૂછો છો કે કાંગવાની માયના શું છે? Do you, when you follow this religious ceremony, do you ask what does that mean? Meaning they were blindly doing it. Today, are we doing anything blindly? When we go to Nomi Majlis, Chandrat Majlis, or attend Jamaat Khana, listen to Ginan or article or anything in Jamaat Khana, do we understand the meaning of it? Imam is asking us. પોતાના દિલથી વિચાર કરી જુઓ. Think about those things. તો ખરી ખૂબીની તમને ખબર પડે. If you don't think, meaning use your intellect, you will not know what is the, in reality, the essence, the benefit of doing what you are doing. તમે પૂછો તો તમને અમે કહી સંભળાવીએ. Now this is very interesting. Imam is saying, if you were to ask, I will tell you. If you were to ask, I will tell you. Do we expect Imam today, if let's say I say, oh Mola, I don't know Quran, do we expect Imam to come and teach us? That's what Imam is saying, that Ame kahi samrani. We have to understand that those mu'minins who are asking questions, who are seeking, it is Imam's responsibility to help us find the answers. Imam will help us with the true knowledge, with the true, talim of our tariqah. If we are asking, that's what Imam is saying. It's not Imam is saying that physically he's going to start taking her classes and teach us. Imam will find you the ways and means to give you what you need. Many find it and lose it, because it requires that breaking of that hard shell of almond to get the essence out. It requires hard work. But people like everything served on a plate ready. I just want to eat it. If we continue to have that habit and we do not want to pick up the books and learn and understand what Imam is wanting us, it will not happen. Remember that what Imam says, Ghana moment. But due to the lack of knowledge, they are very restless. Even today, if we were to make that choice, that we want an easy approach, the progress which Imam wants us will be very, very slow. So again, choices we make as individuals. We make as individuals. Where do we want to learn? How do we want to learn? How much time we want to invest? It is all up to us. I'm looking at the time. Oh, I think we will not be able to finish it. I thought we should, but no, we cannot. This is a very, very important Farman. So we are, so Imam is teaching us, okay, તમે દરક્ષ તથા લવિંગથી કાંગો ભરો છો પણ માયના સમજતા નથી એવી બાબતો વિશે તમારા દિલમાં વિચાર કરવો જોઈએ. So draksh is like dried dates and loving is cloves. These two are, used in that symbolic ceremony. Again, Imam is referring to these two things, and Imam is saying that if you were to think, you would understand the meaning. Every symbol, every ritual has a meaning in it, and there is a meaning in it which you need to understand. ત્યારે પંજુભાઈએ અરજ કરી કે મોટાઓને આ કામની છેવટ જોઈએ. ત્યારે મોલા હાજરી ઇમામે ફરમાવ્યું. Very, very interesting. When Imam is saying that you need to learn in this, so what Jama'at said, that those who are elders, amaldaran in Jama'at, they should teach us. Look at Imam's reply and then we'll end. જમાતના મોટા અમલદાર ગોવાળ મિસાલ છે, પરંતુ આ ખૂબીનો ધ્યાન નાનાઓને વધારે રાખવું જોઈએ. તેઓની જમાતના ઘણા કામ કરવા હોય છે. નાના માણસોએ વધારે ध्यान રાખવું જોઈએ. It is so easy. I mean, does it not sound familiar? As soon as we start talking of knowledge, I remember listening to in classes that why institution is not doing that? Why we are not being taught this? This is the answer. Imam is saying, yes, I agree. Amaldar is like a goar, like a shepherd, right? Who takes care of the herd, But that doesn't mean that they are the only responsible. Imam is agreeing, and then he's saying, Parantu a khubi no dhyan nanaone vadhare rakhu જોઈએ. We are not animals. Remember that. Example is given, but we are not animals. We are humans. And Imam is saying, vadhare. The responsibility is upon us. If we are not amaldar, if we are not working in the institution, it is upon us, not all-wise, not amaldar. It is upon us. We are more responsible. તેઓને જમાતના ઘણા કામ કરવા હોય છે, because it is us who takes care of Jamaat as per se, without any labels, volunteers, right? Without any title, our Jamaat works on volunteerism. There are few who are leaders, but majority are volunteers without any title, without any name, without any label, without any badge, working hard to serve the Imam. Imam is saying you are more responsible because you have to work with Jamaat, in Jamaat. નાના માણસોએ વધારે ધ્યાન રાખવું જોઈએ. It is our responsibility. This is a very, very powerful Farman, I would say. There are so many things which we need to reflect and truly ask ourselves. Let's stop here because we won't do justice. So we'll stop here, and inshallah we will have to continue start speaking from this, so we really discuss this in detail. I don't want to rush it. So friends, let's stop here and then we'll continue.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. Like you say, the Farman is very, very powerful, and it highlights so many points that we as the Jamaat have raised, and we keep on raising the same kind of points, not really realizing that Walana Sultan Muhammad Shah had already explained these to us. The one question I wanted to ask was regarding the loving and the raisins. Do you know exactly why loving was chosen?
So I see here, my friend is telling me draksh is a raisin. So it's a raisins. You do know, right? It is from grapes. So
Yes.
cloves and grapes. Quran talks about samrat, fruits, right? Quran talks about this verse in which Allah says that He has given us all what we need in the forms of fruits, samrat. And in other words, He says that He will test us with in fruits as well. Meaning, whatever the blessings. Now, samrat, we can start with physical blessings. We are healthy. We have intellect. We have comfortable living. Physical blessings, then spiritual blessings, then intellectual blessings. So samarat is at every level, right? Today, what we are focusing when we are learning in this, sessions, which we are trying to focus on esoteric meaning of our tariqa, it is to do with tawil. It is to do with the tawil. Remember, we are learning about Imam's Farman where he's focusing on Quran, but it is not that we are expected to learn the tanzil of the Quran as per se. Yes, we do need to learn Tanzil, but because if you don't know Tanzil, how are we going to learn the Tawil? So Tanzil is important. But with Tanzil, we have to know the Tawil. It is, when we learn dua, we all have memorized dua. We all can recite dua. But if we know dua, do we know the meaning of it? Not the translation, but the meaning of it. And that's what exactly means here. That when we have this raisins and clove exchange in order to fulfill this ritual to say that we are giving our bayat, it is to give us this meaning, this understanding that whatever we have in our physical, spiritual, intellectual forms, whatever samarat, whatever fruits, whatever blessings which we are given, it is all from Iman. It has been given to us. The key point is it has been given to us. Tawili ilm in today's time has been given to us. We have books of our Buzurgware Deen. Books are being translated by IIS. There are so many, books are available in today's time that we can study and learn the talimat of our tariqa, tawili talimat of our tariqa, history of our tariqa. This was not the reality in the time of Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah. Jama'at did not have access to these books. There were no books at that time. It took time for these books to come. Actually, it started truly in the time of Imam Hazri Imam. When Hazri Imam sat on the Gadi, then we start seeing the miracle of knowledge. That an Imam is the one who built IIS, and we have books translated by IIS, and other books in Urdu were written in time of Imam Hazri Imam. All these Tawili ilm, the flood of the knowledge started in the time of Hazri Imam. In the time of Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah, we were still getting education as Jamaat. So, in other words, the answer to your question, Kareem, is that we are talking about the samarat, the word samarat, which is mentioned in Quran, that we are given these samarat. The unfortunate part is that yes, when we look at the clove and the raisins, we may see it as spices of our food, raisins for sweet, and for our spicy food, clove, garam masala. We use it in our cooking in our food, which nourishes our physical being. Similarly, the tawili meaning of samarat, which is tawil, which is knowledge. If we will feed, we will cook and feed, meaning we have to work hard. When we will learn, it will nourish our soul and intellect. So what happens? We look at the raisins and the cloves, and we are looking at it, and we see it as a physical thing we use in cooking to nourish our physical being. What is the meaning behind it? There is a summer, there is a food for our soul and intellect as well. If we will cook it, if we will learn it, because cooking requires gathering. I mean, I don't want to go through the process, but imagine from grocery to have cooked food in front of us. And we are given this condiments, right? Raisins and the clove is a condiment kind of, right? It's a part of the main cooking, meaning we still have to have, you know, part of protein, part of carbohydrate, and make it a food. Like, you know, have vegetables or have meat or chicken or whatever we are making, or dal. We have to make food out of it. We are just given this example by showing us the clove and the raisins. The all food we have to gather in order to have a curry in front of us to be able to eat. When we are seeking knowledge and when we are being taught in a way, ready-made food is kept in front of us. It is easy. If somebody is cooking food and it is given to us, it is very easy to eat that food. But ask that person who had to cook food every day. What do I cook every day? What grocery? What do I need? What is missing? Such a hard work, frustrating work that person has to do to continue to feed the family. It is a hard work, but we undermine because we get the ready-made food. There is a meaning in it. This is a really meaning in it. That when we learn this knowledge and we are learning as if we are given this ready-made food for us, that we don't need to require to work hard. If we are learning in that way, if we are attending classes in that way, this is one way of eating, which we have been doing all our lives. Eat food and not ever acknowledge the one who's cooking or appreciate until we have to cook for ourselves and then know how hard it is to cook. From going out, grocery, collecting and knowing what we have, what we don't. It is a hard work. Now take that example and apply it in learning the Ta'wil, which Imam wants us to do. If we are eating ready-made knowledge given to us, we don't want to open the book, we don't want to open the Quran, understand, highlight, take notes, re-listen, understand. Are we doing justice or are we being lazy and eating the food which are just given to us? So there are different ways of, giving these talimat. Again, we are given the example of clove separately, raisins separately. We need to gather things, books, notebooks, pens, pencils, and learn, cook for ourselves. We are given this knowledge in a very beautiful way. We have sessions of Quran, we have sessions of book studies, we had sessions on global lectures for history. All these are knowledge given to us. Are we working hard to cook the food for ourselves and then eat it? Or we just want people to cook for us and give it to us? Then there are forums like that and we can keep attending. Everything is given to us. And that is it. So there are very many ways, Kareem, we can look into these, because these farmans are so, there is so much in it that I don't know if even if we are going so slow, if we are doing any justice. There is so much more to learn. The hard work is needed to cook the food to feed our soul. Again, there are different levels. But Imam has not left any, what do we say in English? Any stone unturned. There's an idiom like that he has given everything in his Farman, everything. For every level of knowledge we have, whoever we are here and understanding, Imam has given every aspect, covered it. It is up to us to really reflect and find out for ourselves what level, how much work hard we want to do, and where do we want to reach. It is all about reaching the destination. It is all about reaching the destination. Do we love Imam enough to do that?
Subhanallah, subhanallah. Friends, if you have any questions or comments, please come forward. While we're waiting for them to formulate their questions, I just wanted to make a comment that the cooking example you gave is so powerful that one never appreciates the amount of time and effort that's taken to cook the food. They will appreciate the food in its taste, but never really know how that food was actually created. And if you never learn how to cook that particular dish or whatever, then once the person who is providing that food leaves, you are then left not knowing exactly how to create that dish. Yeah.
Again, you spoke in allegory as well, Karim. You are
Mm,
very
yeah.
right. You are very right. Yeah, we have to reflect. We have to acknowledge and appreciate. Yes, you are very absolutely correct. There is like, what else can we say about it? We really have to reflect. This Farman actually pushes us from out of our, comfort zone very, very strongly. And we really have to reflect because there are so many aspects of this Farman. It is like, oh my goodness, right? We do need to wake up and understand. So you are absolutely correct, Karim.
Like you said, there are so many different levels that you can read this Verman and think about. Yeah. Uh, yes, very powerful. Friends, if you have any questions or comments, please come forward.
It is mercy of Imam as well, right? While friends are thinking, it is mercy that he loves us so much that he has given us such a long farman speaking about different aspects which relates to us so powerfully. I mean, his affection, can we see that, his rahmat? He loves us so much that he's teaching us in such a, simpler examples and helping Jama'at to learn. This Farman also, we have to realize love of Imam for us, his desire for us to elevate and progress and learn knowledge. Truly, we have to prostrate knowing this Farman that Ya Mola, we see your love as well for us. Please forgive our sins. And we need to work hard. Yes, we realize that as well. We have to acknowledge that it is truly Imam's mercy that he would sit hours in giving Farman like that. Can you imagine that? So beautiful, so beautiful. Any friends would like to share reflections? I would love to hear that. Thank you, Anila. Anila says, Subhanallah. Why don't you share what did touch you?
Yali Madat Naima Saiba. There is always, something or the other, which like, though I have started my journey with your Farman lectures only from YouTube, but whenever I hear you, there's something very, very different and very new for me to, reflect on. And I mean, I feel so blessed that I get a chance to be a part of this. And one thing which I really want to talk about today, that was the Farman of Imams. Whenever I talk to somebody about these classes and all, so the answer comes from them, from their side, that if Tariqa board is not working for us, if Tariqa board is not just giving any classes and all that, why we need to attend these kind of classes? And they suggest me also, in fact, not to just go, here and there to just they think I'm going here and there to just so I really got this from, I was so blessed to, I took a picture of that Farman and I said, now I'm going to keep it with me, and whoever is going to ask me that this is not Imam's Farman, if Tariqa board is not doing it, you don't need to just go and take the these education from somewhere else. So now I have the evidence with me, so I can share with them. So see, Imam is telling us to just, put your own effort and do it. You learn it. And the example of cooking, yes, that was so powerful. Of course, that can be given too. That that's how we need to, kind of put our effort and just this. It's not like all you won't get everything. Paka pakaya, you won't get it. You have to do your effort. You have to put your effort, and you have to do put your effort in it. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nemat Saiba.
Thank you, Anila, for coming forward and sharing. I mean, you brought tears to my eyes, seriously. This is such a important point you made, because majority of the time, Jamaat will say, if it is not coming from title holders or Amal Daran, why should we worry? When we die, will Amal Daran be asked, what did we do for our soul, or we are going to be asked? Think, think. And look at this Farman. Imam is saying we are more responsible than those who are title holders. More responsibility has been put on our shoulders. So how long we will wait? You are so right. I'm so happy. I'm truly, truly humbled that you came forward and said that, because you yourself is experiencing that. Imagine those who have doubts in their heart. Is this right thing I'm doing while attending this session of learning Farman or the book studies we are doing? Is it right? Because people gossip, right? They say things. But you have to have that eyes of intellect to be able to see where is the truth. So I'm truly humbled and I'm truly, truly honored that you are here. Thank you, Anila.
Thank you, Niamat Saiba. Thank you so much.
Any other questions or comments, friends, before we close the session?
Ji Hamida. Ji Hamida ma. Hamida Lalji, you can speak.
I've got a question, Niamat, but when it's said in the book that ઘણા ભગત છે અને તેઓ જ્ઞાનની માયના સમજાવે છે અને અને ખાલી જ્ઞાન ઉપર હોય તો એ લોકો તરફિયા મારે છે, પણ જો એ લોકોને પુરાણમાંથી સમજાવવામાં આવે તો એ લોકોને વધારે સમજ પડશે. So I haven't really studied Quran as such. So what do you suggest? How do I go about it? Should I start from the beginning and read the whole book, or what do I do?
You are doing great, Hamidama. If you are attending, I hope you are attending Gujrati sessions. I hope you are attending book study sessions, because you cannot
Yes.
study the Quran. If you are learning, okay? Because it has to be learned step by step. So I
Yeah.
would recommend you that, there were very many basic lectures I have done in the past during the time from COVID. And I have not repeated those sessions, like, all the rituals in Jamaat Khana and understanding them in the light of Quran. If you
Yeah.
don't have those lectures, you can ask Kareem Sahib or Naveen Sahiba. And then currently we are studying those books. If you are doing that, and I know you have Quran and you highlight the Quran, so you're doing amazing, because that's how you start. So I would say keep attending the
Yeah.
sessions. I would say you are standing here, and then Wednesday evening, or we do sometimes Thursday evening, and then global lectures. Nachis also delivers
Okay.
lectures on global. So if you are
Okay.
doing those things,
Yeah.
global lectures, and here Gujarati.
Global lectures, I'm getting them, so I can go through them.
Yes. So I would highly
Okay.
recommend you. It
That
is a
will
little
be
bit
good.
higher in level,
Yeah.
a little bit,
Yeah.
I keep make things simpler, but a little bit
Yeah.
higher level, but it helps you to listen to that higher level too. Your mind
Yeah.
starts opening up. So good job in doing
Okay.
that. You're
Okay.
doing amazing.
Thank you, Nimet bhai. Thank you. Yali Mother. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments, friends? Thank you, Niamat Saiba, once again for a wonderful session. And inshallah, we'll continue with Farman 36 to conclusion. Yali Mad, friends, thank you for joining.
Yali Madad, Yali Madad.
Thank you, Yali Mother.
Yali Madad, Yali Madad.